sent Moose to use pottery. This is part 2 of Moose Makes a Frog. This is a birthday gift for Ellie. This is what she wanted for her birthday. This was made yesterday. You can see how this was actually made on the video we posted up on YouTube called Moose Makes a Frog Part 1. This is Part 2. At any rate, this is your basic frog shape. It's kind of low and flat. This tail will be cut off later. I'll do that once it gets a bit drier. Right now we're going to get some clay. I just wedged this on the board. That video will be up shortly as well. And first thing we're going to do is make some eyeballs. Kind of make 2 equal chunks out of them. So now we have 2 eyeballs that are approximately the same size. And we'll wrap them up here. Flatten one side. Do the same here.
Water chestnuts, which
flatten it a little bit. They don't have to be perfectly round. We'll be fiddling with that in a second. Now we've got the 2 eyes. We're going to decide where we're going to put the eyes. Eyes are going to be set a little wide apart, largely because I am going to deluxe this and I'm going to put a little hat on it. So we'll put the eyes right about there. It's just a little bit closer in than fish. Fish would have the eyes down here, or sometimes way up here, depending on what kind of fish it is. But now, put this slip on. I use a brush. It's just a regular old crummy little brush. It's actually been sitting in my slip water so long that it's actually got kind of nasty and all rusted up because I had it so long. But I have the same brush, the same thing. That way I know that it's not for wax or anything. If you get wax on a brush, it's done. Okay, eyes. Lightly score this side. And just kind of score that with a little more slip here. Support on the inside, put your piece in, down, and you want to kind of work the inside edges, the underneath edges, with these little pieces down into the clay underneath. If you don't do this, a crack will form between the 2 of them and it will pop off. As it is, these guys are notorious for failing at any rate because of all the additions I put onto them. If you get them too thick or they don't dry properly all the way through, they will pop off. To avoid that, or to try to avoid that, you've got to dry everything absolutely totally thoroughly, and it might take as long as 1 to 2 weeks longer than you would a regular pot. So you want to dry it well past where you think it's ready to be fired. Typically, I wait about a week or 2 weeks before firing, after I think it's dry enough, just to make sure. Not so much in the winter, not so much in the summer, because things dry up so quickly. In fact, usually things are ready to fire 2 days later. Right now, it's January, it's been rainy, it's taking 3 weeks to a month to dry things, which is fine because it gives you lots of time to do a lot more stuff, basically. Okay, we have 2 eyes. 2 big old harkin' bulby eyes there. Okay, so now on this guy, we're also going to put some eyelids on him. And in that case, a long, relatively thin piece, cut it in half. Get the edges approximately the right size. More slip. Slip the edge first. Score the edge. Notice I'm kind of scoring the 2 together. I'm not going to bother to score this. I will put a little bit of stuff on him, and then slop it again. Put it right here, and just walk it around like that.
Back then, they were useful for shipping snow and ice off the bottom of a car. Without this, you couldn't go because the snow was heavy and it would accumulate in the wheel.
And same thing here, up here.
The under chassis and around
and kind of flare it around. Okay, so now once it gets to that point, kind of wrap around, tip it down, and that's pretty much about it. If you look at the front, it should look like kind of, well, like that, basically. And you want to go ahead and smooth it out.
And once there's some bump into another house, these pitiful people sitting there in the dark and their quilts and eating their water chestnut in Minnesota.
Okay, so now I have 2 eyes and 2 eyebrows. Kind of look at it and see what his expression is, basically. Typically, I will use just the back end of the brush just to kind of make a couple of little holes for the Okay, so that's not too bad right there. So next, fairly big, we're to the back legs, fairly big chunk of clay, roll it up, and actually what you want to do is you want to make a fairly large, flat piece of clay, then kind of make a thinner part at the one end. So it looks kind of like this. Round off the top, and we're going to take the whole thing and kind of bend it like this. Voila, one frog leg, just like that. We decided what the side is going to be. This will be, he'll be sitting up like, kind of like this, basically like that. That's the way it's going to work. So we'll do score inside, score the side of the frog here.
He strung it up between trees, waving hankies at it. His dog was running down. He was chanting.
Slip.
He threw over his shoulder. He had these rocks.
Slip.
Around the house. He put the rocks into the holes. He tried to sell us some life insurance as well, but we said we didn't believe in that, just a form of gambling, life insurance.
Stick him on. Now you notice how this foot kind of comes down. So what we'll do now is make a foot for it. That's just a ball of clay, round ball of clay, kind of point it one end like this. Here's your point, mash it down flat. Or not really flat, so it's like this. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 lugs in it. 1, 2, 3. This is the same as the fins for the fish. And decide which side looks better. This side looks better for his foot. It'll go right there as a back foot, right there.